HaRuach organization was founded in the immediate aftermath of the October 7th attack to provide mental health and psychological support for frontline workers. Its workshop retreats in nature provide a safe space for participants to discuss and process their experiences and to develop resilience and coping mechanisms that enable them to face the future and support their peers. Our reporter Naomi Segal heard more from Daniel Hermon, a founder and CFO of Mashiv HaRuach.
We are speaking with Daniel Hermon, founder and CFO of Mashiv HaRuach, which was established in the wake of the October 7th attacks and seems to be dedicated to helping the helpers. Thank you for joining us, and tell us a little bit about the organization and what it does.
Hi, thank you so much, and thank you for having me. This is a very important issue. So Mashiv HaRuach was actually founded just a couple of weeks after the October 7th Simchat Torah. Eyal Kravitz, my partner and CEO of Mashiv HaRuach, he was a colonel in the Navy, and the year before he finished his duty, and he found himself for the first time in a war without uniform. And as everyone else, like everyone wanted to volunteer. Some people made socks for the soldiers, some volunteered in all different areas. He realized that there's going to be a really long-lasting trauma in Israel, and he decided he wants to do workshops. At the same time, I volunteered back to reserve duty, something I haven't done for a very long time. I've been a warrior in the Army in the beginning of 2000. And in one of the patrols we did together in where we live, we are next door neighbors. So he told me about this idea he has. He wants to do these workshops and these journeys. And as myself, I've been in a similar workshop with my team in Canada a few years ago. And I understand right away what he wants to do. And I decided to join him on this journey to build these workshops. And we started these workshops. We took some professionals. We're both not therapists or anything. We come from different worlds. So we gathered some professionals in the work of trauma, and we build this organization called Mashiv HaRuach. While the 1st of January 2024, which is just a few months after, we were already with our first workshop with Zaka, and we realized pretty fast that there's a bunch of citizens in Israel that are helping out, social workers, therapists, hospital teams, teachers from the Gaza area, first responders, reserve duty spouses, wives of wounded soldiers, all these people that have been helping all out through the past 2 years are not receiving any help. And we've decided to call our organization Mashiv HaRuach, Helping the Helpers. And we realized how much if we're able to help out the helpers, so that at the end of the day, that's what's going to help Israel cope with this long-lasting trauma that we've been through in the past 2 years.
So what kinds of workshops do you run? And now it's almost a year and a half since your first workshop, so or almost coming on 2 years. So yeah. What feedback have you received, and what lessons have been learned?
So our workshops are mostly 2-day workshops. We mostly do it in Matzokei Dragot, near the Dead Sea, near Yam HaMelech, with beautiful view. And the idea is to take these groups for 2 days. It's not long, but just to give them a minute of time for themselves, asking them how they're doing. For 2 years, no one has asked them how they're doing. We had nurses from Soroka Hospital, when the first days of the war, have treated over 900 patients. And, they've been through day to day, and no one stopped for a second to ask, hey, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How are you coping with what you've been through? And for the first time, they came for 2 days, and mostly we just asked them how they're doing. Our workshop are built with talking time within a group. We take into very serious, I guess you could call it, importance, the strength of a group. People who've been through the same thing and they could all understand each other. We have meditation, and we have a bonfire at night with music and food and alcohol to help them, let go of everything they talked throughout the day. We have a walk in the desert, meditation walk in the desert, and we just give them 2 days to breathe. I always give the example when I open our workshops of, when people fly on the plane, so the stewardess tells them, what you need to do if something happens, and if the oxygen mask falls down. So the first thing you have to do is put the oxygen mask, first of all, on yourself. And then afterwards, you help the ones around you. And I think that's what we try and give them in the first 2 days. First of all, they need to put on their oxygen mask. They need to get some oxygen. They need to breathe better. So at the end of the day, they're going to go back to their jobs and to their families and to their hospitals and continue their work and continue to help. And if they're in a good state of mind, then they'll be able to continue doing what they do.
From these various groups who come and participate in the workshops, do they return for further workshops, or it's often seen as a one-off at some point in time?
So we basically have the program is built in a way that they come for 2 days, and we always can build the follow-up. Sometimes they will come to us for another follow-up for a day or another day. It depends on the organization. And we sometimes go over to them. So if an organization, let's say a school from the Gaza Strip, the teachers and the kindergarten teachers came over to our workshop, and they feel that they need more help. So we'll send our facilitators to their school and give them more hours of time. So yeah, we definitely follow up with them. We follow up with phone calls to make sure, they're still receiving from those 2 days the help and the resilience that they need. We after the 12-day war of Iran, we made some phone calls, and a psychologist from Ishlov Hospital that was with us, she told us, we asked her, after you've been like 6 months ago within our workshop, and now we're having another issue and another trauma, we wanted to know if something helped. And she told us we give out these little blankets when we do our meditation. And she told us that she keeps that blanket in the bomb shelter, and every time she went down to the bomb shelter, she put on herself that blanket, and she remembered the different things they talked about and how to cope with things and to breathe, and it really, really helped her. So that was a great feedback for us.
Now, alongside this activity, you're also branching out in cooperation between Israel and Germany in various techniques or approaches for treating or helping to bolster resilience. Tell us a little bit about that effort.
Yeah, so the ASB German in Witten, they actually reached out to us. They're understanding that Germany may be in the next 2 years also in a situation maybe of war or something, and they decided they want to also learn how to cope. The ASB is one of the Europe's largest humanitarian organization, and they run medical services, crisis hotlines, emergency response units, volunteer networks. Pretty much similar to what we do here. I guess it's a collaboration over there, like Ichud Hatzala and Iran and hotlines, etc. And they reached out to us because they wanted to actually learn from us. Israel is a great place to learn about trauma and how to deal with resilience. And they wanted to learn from us how to deal with it. And we right away thought that, it doesn't matter if you're Israeli or German or anywhere in the world, helpers break the same way at the end of the day, and they heal the same way. So we started this collaboration. We started last year in January. We went over to Germany for a week. I guess you can call it for a week of a workshop, and we started information exchange, and we're continuing now. Every few weeks we have a meeting. So if you can take like Professor Timmerman, who's the head chief of psychologists in the Army Germany. So we would meet him with one of our social workers that work in the Army, and they would, teach each other and help out and go over different issues and different ways of treating trauma and resilience. And that's one of the things we do together. So that's information exchange. And now what we do also, we're heading back there in January again for a workshop for Mashiv HaRuach. So we're going, all our team, about 20 or so, into Germany, and they're hosting us the same way we host the helpers in Israel. They're hosting us for a week just for Mashiv HaRuach to help us, go over things and cope and so for more information exchange. So it's a really interesting and amazing collaboration.
And this civil initiative is also being recognized with a prize?
Yeah, so in about a week or so, there's going to be the Shimon Peres Prize, and this collaboration together with the ASB, we're going to receive this Shimon Peres Prize for this collaboration. I think understanding international organizations such as ASB, the WHO, World Health Organization, also recognize us, and the WHO representative here in Israel comes to our workshops every now and then, who's just with us this week in one of our workshops for Tel Shomer Hospital. And I think the international organizations such as ASB and WHO understand the importance of helping the helpers. And I think the prize itself is not the point, but the point is to recognize the importance of helping the helpers.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you so much for having me. And I think it's a great opportunity also to call out for the Israeli administrators that to hear this. And at the end of the day, we're a small organization. We try to do as much as we can as what we do. But definitely, I think the Israeli government, etc., should help out on this very important journey that we're doing. And hopefully that we won't need ourselves anymore one day. But at this point, it's very important. So thank you very much for bringing this up and for having me.
And that was Daniel